Let's go over to Arizona State. Joe, I have them at 1. You have them at 2. So you think that Arizona State's going to get to the Big 12 championship game and ultimately lose to Texas Tech. When you look at Arizona State coming into the season in 2025, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's very easy to lean into a team that won the conference a year ago, especially when they are not losing really any of their key starters. They are losing Cam Scadaboo, who was the most dominant player in the conference last year, especially down the stretch. I'm excited to see what he does for my New York Giants. I think that they are positioned effectively to transition away from Scadaboo and to lean on one of the most dynamic duos in the country.
I agree.
Levitt is getting a lot of preseason recognition from the NFL, as I've said. Jordan Tyson very likely should be the number 1 wide receiver selected in the 2026 NFL draft. He is very fast. He is very fluid. He's a great route runner. He is somebody who is going to be, as long as he finishes the year healthy, unlike last year, a 1,500-yard guy. He is that gifted. Mm-hmm. But what stood out to me is that they're bringing back 16 returning starters per Phil Steele's preseason magazine. That to me is very notable. They might not have 16 guys that are all conference players. Most of those guys probably aren't, but they're bringing back a lot of dudes who've played and have seen bullets. I like Keith Abney at corner. I think that there is just so much that you can look across this roster, and similar to Texas Tech, there's a lot of underrated names that could be well known by the end of the season.
Joe, the 16 starter point, I think, is a big deal for me. It's more of that defensively, because when you look at their front seven, again, senior, all return. Now, the last time that we saw them was against Texas. And defensively, they, in the second half, I know that that game started off and Texas came out throwing a lot of punches. And listen, Texas played with their food a lot last year. Hell, they almost lost to Vandy too. So, I mean, Arizona State fans, I get where we almost beat Texas. So did Vandy. The bottom line in this is that you didn't, okay? Down the stretch, I thought your defense played very well. And a lot of those guys return. So, Joe, there's two things here that are at play. Does the new model of the new age work with Texas Tech and getting a whole new front seven and going in guys that everyone thought they could play and got offers from a lot of people, even in the SEC and Big Ten? Or does bringing back, developing from within, guys that already played with you, another year in the system going to play out? I think they're going to be better defensively. And I think a lot of times last year, Scadaboo got them out of jams offensively, but the defense were making stops over and over and over again to get them those breaks. If you think of the BYU game a year ago, the couple of stops that they got down the stretch. If you think of the Iowa State game where they absolutely dominated. Now, I know the first half was not pretty against Texas, but then they got really, really creative and they got after guys. Joe, I think that's where they take a bigger step than people are giving them credit for. It's why I ultimately have them at number one. Again, you talk about the starters returning. The developmental piece from within, I think, is a big thing here that's being overlooked about Arizona State. Joe, how about this? Pro Football Focus down the stretch. No team was better in the second half defending the run in the playoffs. I know it was only one game, but nobody in the second half had a better second half up front stopping the run than Arizona State did. Can they translate that in the offseason? Again, it's only one game, but, I mean, it is what it is. The bottom line remains with me, too. I think they have the best quarterback in the conference, the most talented quarterback in the conference, maybe outside of Caden Salter at Colorado. Sam Levitt can literally do it all. I think he takes another big step. I think this offense gets rolling. I love your part about the receiver duo as well, bringing in Jalen Moss, bringing in another guard that can help protect Levitt. What do they do in the run game is going to be a big question. I know you brought in Adu, at running back. Does he – I don't know. It's unfair to ask him to replace what Scadaboo did for you. The injuries were a big part of their downturn early in the year. Once those guys were back and healthy, that offense was fine. Look, I just think that they as a team they might not be more talented and not than some of these teams, but I do think that you can make the argument they're the best team. They are also plus 550 on FanDuel to win the conference. Can they be back-to-back champions will be the question.
Also on FanDuel, their win total is 8.5 wins, and I would very willingly, aggressively smash the over on that 8.5. The last part that you just threw in there is the big reason why I think we should commit faith to Kenny Dillingham in this roster. We just pointed out a million green flags for why this team gets back there. At the very, very worst case, least if things aren't as explosive as they were last year, they win 9 games. But the key, most important part about all this, they might not have the most talented roster, but they have the most well-coached roster, in my eyes, in the Big 12. I think that there has been great development of this team since Dillingham got there. The fact that they were at the bottom of the conference last year, going into the season, no one thought that this team was going to do anything, including us. We kept them pretty low in our preseason rankings. We didn't have any expectation that there would be this rapid turnaround. Maybe if they got better, they'd be in the middle of the conference, and we'd be talking about them this year as a team that was on the rise.
They were picked last in the preseason last year to finish in the Big 12, you remember.
Right. My point with that is to get that far and to climb that far, it requires a group that knows how to play together. You're bringing back 16 guys that played together last year. I'm not going to bet against that group.
I wouldn't either. And again, defensively, the question becomes if they take that next step and they develop. The only thing with Arizona State, Joe, I got to be real with you, that gives me a little pause. Complacency. I do think that complacency is something that we never want to talk about. Everybody was hyping you up. Everybody was talking about how great you were. Do you still have that same edge? Now, I know their head coach does. Did you hear Kenny Dillingham the other day? We played like an 8-4. We practiced like an 8-4 team today, is what he said. We didn't practice like a team that went to the Big 12 title. When he said that, it kind of got I know it's preseason camp, but if your coach is going to call you out like that, I'm like, well, has complacency set in? We'll see. Don't let you better not have. I'm putting Texas Tech memorabilia all across the stadium. I am. Hey man, they're coming for you. Colorado's coming for you. I mean, you want to get back there? Hey, you have. Look, it's a great accomplishment. You won the league. I'm not saying it's not. You thought you could beat Texas. Did you do that extra rep when you needed to? I think it's a big thing when their coach is out there saying, "Hey, we're practicing as a complacent team right now."
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I don't think that they're a team I'm worrying about.